Your words, Lord, are spirit and life. You have the words of everlasting life. Alleluia.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus spoke these words to the crowds. To what then will I compare the people of this generation? And what are they like? They are like children sitting in the marketplace and calling to one another. We played the flute for you, and you did not dance. We wailed, and you did not weep. For John the Baptist has come, eating no bread and drinking no wine, and you say he has a demon. The Son of Man has come, eating and drinking, and you say, look, a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. Nevertheless, wisdom is vindicated by all her children. The Gospel of the Lord. Since the beginning of this week, our gospel reading has been from Luke chapter 7. And we said that Luke chapter 7 is the chapter where Jesus raises people up. People who are down, people who are bereaved, people who have lost loved ones, people who are sick. Jesus raises them up. He lifts them up. In Luke chapter 7 from verse 1 to 10, a Roman centurion came to Jesus and he said to Jesus, one of my servants, I have many soldiers, but one of them is down. Come and help him. And Jesus went and lifted him up. And yesterday in the gospel reading, Jesus entered a town called Nain. And there was a woman whose son had died. The woman was devastated. Luke chapter 7 verse 11 says, Jesus saw the woman. He saw the woman and he went to her and he lifted her spirit up. He told the woman, do not weep. And then he went further to touch the young man who had died and raised him up. Now, despite the fact that Jesus continues to do all these good things, healing people, opening the eyes of the blind, curing diseases, raising the dead, the religious leaders refused to believe in Jesus. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes, they continued to criticize Jesus. They called him drunkard. They said, oh, he goes to tax collectors to eat with sinners. They said, he is a friend of sinners, friend of tax collectors and sinners. They called him a glutton. They said, oh, he goes to drink and eat with tax collectors and sinners. You know, what was interesting is that the tax collectors and the sinners and the prostitutes were following Jesus. But the people who spend all their time in the synagogues and in the temple refuse to follow Jesus. And so Jesus says, to what can I compare these people? To what can I compare these people? And he says they are like children in the marketplace. You know, there was a British philosopher in the 1700s called Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon, in his philosophy, talks about 4 idols. The idols of distraction. He says there are 4 kinds of things that makes people not change their minds or change their opinions. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scribes, they suffer from those 4 idols. The first one, he calls it the idol of the cave. The idol of the cave is when you are so hemmed in into your opinion, you box yourself into a corner, and you can't see wider than that. Then the other one, he calls it the idol of the marketplace. Now, Jesus says they are like children in the marketplace. So Francis Bacon also talks about this idol of the marketplace. And the idol of the marketplace is when you just follow vulgar lifestyle, you follow popular opinion, you go to the marketplace and people go, it's like gossip group. You just go to a group, you form a chattering group, and you believe everything that everybody is talking about there without focusing on the truth. And then the third one, Francis Bacon talks about the idol of the tribe. You know, the whole world is segmented into tribes, ethnic sensibilities. And we believe that our tribe is the best. We don't want to look outside of our tribe. And then there is the idol of the theater. Francis Bacon talks about the danger. You know, today, very many people model their lives after Hollywood. Oh, they see the movie. I want to live my life according to the movie. But the movie is just a 2-hour thing. It tells a 40-year story in 2 hours. They don't tell us all that happened, but what we can just see is a 2-hour story in a movie. And we believe that that is how to live. And so Jesus looks at the Pharisees and says they're living their lives like the idol of the marketplace. But he says wisdom is vindicated by all her children. What is that? You see, God is wisdom. And the love of God is the beginning of wisdom. And so Jesus Christ says, if we follow God, the wisdom that will guide our lives will be more than what we gain from idol of the tribe, idol of the cave, idol of the marketplace, or idol of the theater. He says, follow the wisdom of God. And what God does in the life of his children is proof that these worldly idols that distract us from God can ever offer. So, my dear people, today the challenge for us is to separate ourselves from the children of this generation. Not until we can separate ourselves. It takes a lot of courage to separate oneself from the marketplace, because we want to belong. We want popular opinion. But sometimes we have to stand with Christ, stand with God, and stand alone. The majority is not always correct. The majority is not always correct. But the courage to stand on the truth, even though it's costly, it's painful, it means suffering, but we need the courage to be able to separate ourselves from the marketplace. And that's what Jesus challenges us to do.